Kargil and Param Vir Chakra have a everlasting bonding because there are bravehearts of Mother India who have done the supreme sacrifice to defend our nation from intruders and unfriendly neighbors. Such are four brave young men who laid down their lives. They are Captain Vikram Batra, Captain Manoj Kumar Pandey, Subedar Yogender Singh and Rifleman Sanjay Kumar. One such braveheart was Captain Vikram Batra, who was awarded the Param Vir Chakra posthumously on 7th July 1999 while fighting these Pakistani intruders around area ledge 4875 in the Kargil sector. Batra was born on 9 September 1974 in Palampur, Himachal Pradesh. He was from a humble middle-class background. He was the third child of Girdhali Lal Batra, who was a government school principal, and Kamal Kanta Batra, who was also a school teacher. He was the eldest of twin sons and he was born 14 minutes before his brother named Vishal. His father nicknamed them Love and Kush, that is Vikram and Vishal. Vikram Batra was very good at sports and he represented his school in the table tennis for the All India KVS Nationals. He was a green belt holder in karate and he attended the national level camp at Manali. He also was participating in National Cadet Corps, that is the NCC camps, and had also passed his basic certificates in the NCC. He was also a student of DAV Chandigarh. Completing his training at Indian Military Academy Dehradun, he was commissioned into the Jammu and Kashmir Rifles, that is the 13th Jack Rifles. After commissioning, he was sent to Jabalpur at Madhya Pradesh for the regimental training, and after that, he got his first posting at Sopore in Baramulla district, that is in Jammu and Kashmir. From there, he was sent to infantry school at Mao, where he underwent the YOS or the Young Officers course. After completing his course, he was sent back to his unit where he had several encounters with militants in various scenarios. He was highly acclaimed and respected by the troops that he commanded, and when the Kargil war started, he was a lieutenant. The task of capturing Point 5140, which was a strategic mountain peak in the Dras sector, was assigned to the 13th Jack Rifles, which was under the command of Lieutenant Colonel Yogesh Kumar Joshi. This was done on the 17th of June 1999. So, after the capture of Rocky Knob, which was located at the base of Point 5140, which was about 800 meters away, there were 2 or 3 humps which were there, and these were numbered from 1 to 10 along the ridge line. These points were the highest on the Tololing ridge line and the most formidable feature in the Dras subsector, and these overlooked the Dras Gumri highway and also which went ahead to Kargil. After a detailed recce of the point, it was revealed that there were 4 sangars in which the enemy was present, and the CO or Colonel Joshi decided to attack 5140 with his Bravo company under the command of Lieutenant Sanjeev Singh Jamwal and Delta company under the command of Lieutenant Vikram Batra from both the sides, that is the east and south. So, under the cover of artillery fire, the 2 assault companies began climbing Point 510, and on the midnight of 20th June, the RT had bombed this point, and as planned, the artillery guns would stop firing when the troops were about 20 meters away from the target, or the troops were about 200 meters short of the objective. Once the RT guns and the other fires or the covering fire stopped, the Pakistani soldiers immediately understood that the cover had been stopped and they came out and started attacking the approaching Indian soldiers. At that moment, Jamwal and Batra, both of them, contacted the commanders at the base and asked them to continue the artillery fire. And under this cover of artillery fire and the treacherous terrain, both the youngsters led their companies, and at 3:30, Bravo Company had captured its objective, and Jamwal radioed to his command post saying the words, "Oh yeah, yeah," while Batra decided to approach the hill from the rear, aiming to surprise the enemy and cut off their withdrawal route. He fired 3 rockets towards the bunkers on the east, and before attacking them, he and his men ascended the sheer climb rock cliff, and as the group neared the top, the enemy pinned them on the face of the bare cliff with machine gun fire. At that time, Batra, along with 5 of his men, climbed up and after reaching the top, hurled 2 grenades at the machine gun post and killed as many as of 3 enemy soldiers and took them on single-handedly. Despite being seriously injured, he insisted on going on the mission and reached the top, thus enabling the complete 5140 to be captured. So at 4:35 a.m. in the morning, Batra radioed to his command post. On reaching and capturing the point 5140, "Ye dil mange more," and due to his brave actions, his CO promoted him to the rank of a captain. After this success of 13 Jackraff, this battalion was sent to Mashko Valley under the command of 79 Mountain Brigade, and the next assignment for Batra's battalion was to capture 4875. This was again a very dominant peak which was completely dominating the National Highway 1, which was from Dras to Matayan. So it was very imperative to capture this point and send the enemy back from there. On 1st July 99, the CO of 13 Jackraff detailed Alpha Company to conduct preliminary recce of all the vantage points of how to get onto this point, and the battalion started its task under the able command of Alpha and Charlie Company on 4th of July 99. Though Batra was unwell and the CO did not want to send him for this operation, he volunteered to take part in this operation and lead his men. And this way, under the covering fire on the 4th, 5th and 6th of July, Batra's battalion closed in on the Pakistani bunkers, and on the 9th of 6th and 7th July, the opposing forces were so close by that instead of small arms fire exchange, they were even having verbal duels. This was the stage when it became imperative for the Indian troops to destroy the Pakistani post located north of point 4875, from where the majority of the enemy fire was coming. Otherwise, capture of this point was near to impossible. At this juncture, the Indian troops detected that enemy presence on this narrow ledge for long would be detrimental. So, Batra, on receiving orders from his commanding officer at 5:30 a.m. recceed the area and accompanied by Subedar Raghunath Singh and Major Bhatt, his RTOP, took out a patrol and recceed the route, and then a frontal attack was carried out on the enemy post at point 4875, and the battle cry of the Chakrif, that is Durga Mata Ki Jai, echoed from the peaks onto the valley, and a frontal charge was carried out in which, despite Batra being grievously wounded, kept motivating his men, and finally reached the top and captured the post. At that time, despite being wounded, Batra realized that one of his men had been shot, and he went out to get him under cover, and that was when he exposed himself to his enemy, and he took bullets onto his chest and did the supreme sacrifice for his nation. For this, ladies and gentlemen, Captain Vikram Batra was awarded the Param Vir Chakra posthumously. Another tale during this war is of Captain Manoj Kumar Pandey, who also laid down his life for his motherland to defend it against these unfriendly people who were trying to intrude into our country. Manoj was born on 25th June 1975 in Rudha village in Sitapur district of Uttar Pradesh. He was born to Gopi Chand Pandey, who was a small town businessman living in Lucknow, and his wife Mohini, who was a homemaker. He was the eldest in his family, and he was educated at UP Sainik School, which is at Lucknow, and then at Rani Lakshmi Bai Memorial Senior Secondary School. He was a keen sportsman, and he was interested in bodybuilding in particular. He was adjusted the best cadet of the junior division of NCC at the UP Directorate in 1990. Prior to his selection at the Service Selection Board, when the interviewer asked him, "Why do you want to join the army?" he immediately replied, "I want to win the Param Vir Chakra," and which he did, but alas, it was posthumous. He graduated from the National Defence Academy in the 90th course and was commissioned as a lieutenant in the 1st Battalion of the 11th Gorkha Rifles on 7th June 1997. He won the Param Vir Chakra during the Kargil war at the Batalik sector. So in the early May, the intrusion in the Kargil sector was reported, and his battalion, the 1st 11 Gorkha Rifles, had finished a year and a half tenure at Siachen, as was on a move to a peacetime location posting to Pune. But due to this war, the battalion was asked to move to the Batalik sector in Kargil, and it was among the first units to be inducted into this sector. The unit was commanded by Colonel Lalit Rai, who was assigned the responsibility of the Jubar, Kukartham and Kalubar areas, and their battalion headquarters was at Yadav. Pandey, as part of the battalion, was involved in a series of boldly led attacks. He also took part in a series of actions which led to the capture of Jubar Top. In the early July, Bravo Company of 1st 11 GR was assigned the task of capturing Kalubar Top. Pandey was commanding a platoon in his company. Quickly sizing up the situation, when the attack on this pass or this point was on, he quickly sized up the situation and killed 2 enemy personnel and destroyed the second position by killing 2 more with his bare hands. Although wounded in the shoulder and the leg, he pressed on his solitary charge with serious determination until he closed in on the bunker. The two forces of the two armies engaged in a ferocious hand-to-hand combat. The troops charged at the enemy and fell upon them like fierce tigers, undaunted and without caring for his grievous injuries. Pandey continued leading his assault and motivating his troops to go on and capture the 4th position, and this was destroyed by him with a grenade. And even as he got a fatal blast on his forehead, he collapsed and succumbed to his injuries. But his troops were successful in capturing the top. Thus, his bravery did not go in vain. The Kargil war also had another braveheart who won the Param Vir Chakra, and that is Subedar Major Honorary Captain Yogender Singh Yadav. He won the award at the age of 19 and is the youngest person to win this award and is still living. Yogender was born in a Yadav family on 10th of May 1980 in village Aurangabad at Bulandshahr district of Uttar Pradesh. His father Karan Singh Yadav served in the Kumar regiment, participating in the 1961 and 1971 Indo-Pak War. Yadav joined the Indian Army at the age of 16 years and 5 months. After being enlisted in the 18 Grenadiers and being part of the Ghatak force, during the Kargil war, 18 Grenadiers was sent and also was tasked to capture 3 strategic bunkers on Tiger Hill, and on the early morning hours of 4th of July 1999, the bunkers, which were situated at the top of a vertical snow-covered 1,000 feet cliff face. During this, Yadav volunteered to lead the assault, climbed the cliff face and installed ropes that could allow further assaults on the feature. Halfway up, when the machine guns and rocket fire came from an enemy bunker, killing the platoon commander and 2 others, in spite of being hit by multiple bullets in his groin and shoulder, Yogender continued to climb the remaining 60 feet and reached the top. He was severely wounded, but his willpower made him crawl to the first bunker and he lobbed a grenade, killing 4 Pakistani soldiers and neutralizing the enemy fire coming from the machine guns. This gave the rest of the platoon the opportunity to climb up the cliff face bunker along with 2 other soldiers. He, despite being grievously wounded, engaged in hand-to-hand combat, killing 4 more Pakistani soldiers. The platoon subsequently succeeded in capturing Tiger Hill, which was a very dominant location in that area. Though Yadav was hit by 12 bullets, he played a major role in his capture. The Param Vir Chakra was awarded to him posthumously by the President, but later on it was found that one of his namesakes had made the supreme sacrifice, and he, despite having been grievously wounded, was recuperating in a military hospital. So he became the youngest Param Vir Chakra, and that also living. Later on, Yadav was conferred the honorary rank of captained by the President of India on the Independence Day of 2021, and he was pipped by his colonel of the regiment, that is Lieutenant General Rajiv Sirohi. He retired from the army on 31st of December 2021 as a Subedar Major and Honorary Captain. This war cannot forget Subedar Major Sanjay Kumar, who is another fierce soldier of our esteemed army who fought during the Kargil war and also was awarded the Param Vir Chakra in the same sector. Sanjay Kumar was born in village Kalol Bakral in Bilaspur district of Himachal Pradesh. Prior to joining the army, he worked as a taxi driver in New Delhi, and his application for joining the army was rejected 3 times before he was finally selected to the army. He was recruited into the 13th Battalion of Jammu and Kashmir Rifles on 4th of July. He was recruited into the 13th Battalion Jammu and Kashmir Rifles, that is the battalion of Captain Vikram Batra. And on 4th of July 1999, when 13th Jackrav was tasked to capture the area flat top, he was the leading scout of a team. This area was held by Pakistani troops, and having scaled the cliff, the team was pinned down by machine gun fire from an enemy bunker about 150 meters away. Kumar, realizing the magnitude of the problem and the detrimental effect his bunker would have had while capturing the area flat top, crawled up alone up the ledge along a flank and charged towards the enemy bunker. And this was all through a hail of automatic fire. While he was crawling, he instantly took 2 bullets in his chest and onto his forearm that left him bleeding profusely and being grievously wounded. Though bleeding from the bullet wounds, he continued the charge towards the bunker, and all alone, carrying out hand-to-hand combat, he killed 3 enemy soldiers, and he picked up the enemy machine gun and crept towards the second enemy bunker. The enemy soldiers were taken up by surprise and were killed by him, and they fled the post. Inspired by this gallant act, his platoon charged onto the other bunkers and thus disseminating the enemy and capturing area flat top. In February 2022, he was promoted to the rank of Subedar Major, and right now he is posted in the National Defence Academy. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are the tales of the Param Vir Chakra awardees of the Kargil war. But this localized war, in which our brave army threw out these Pakistani troops, was also carried out by many other bravehearts who laid down their life and did the supreme sacrifice for their motherland. So, to know more tales of such brave men, keep following our channel and subscribe to it. I would also request you to please write in the comment box about any other topic or events that you would like me to research and give them out to you in my future videos. Jai Hind.